This is not only sort of a musical memoir, this is also a deep spiritual story. My wife and I, even before we were together, we were always talking about doing a show in our love of Broadway and musicals and how to marry what I do onto the Broadway stage. So I've really gotten a chance to get this into my soul and know what I want to present, to where when people leave they feel lifted up and exhilarated.
Melissa and I have known each other a very long time, and we raised our kids in the same school. We did musical nights with children and Melissa, and they were amazing. I said to her, if you ever want more stuff, if you ever want more things, I said, I'm so in. And she is a person that loves theater, and so we have talked about this forever. Like, let's find a way to put all the pieces together and make a really magical theatrical event. So it's sort of both of our dreams. She deserves this moment, and she's worked so hard to be here and to tell her story in a really honest way that I'm just excited for her to have a full crowd of audience and friends and fans.
I think if an artist wants to come to Broadway or Off Broadway, it's a great place to be. I mean, it's fantastic. I've known Melissa for over 30 years. So I've seen her obviously on stage, and she's so brilliant. But to see her on this kind of stage is so intense and great and brave and magical. Here's the thing about Melissa. She tells the truth.
Come to my window, crawl inside, wait by the light of the moon. Come to my window, I'll be home soon.
My wife is fearless, and she has amazed everyone, even in the theater, also to go, hey, I have no ego here. I can dump that. I can change that. I'll do this. You want me to try that? Sure, I'll try. People haven't seen all these sides of her, and I've seen it a million times now, and it makes me cry each time and lifts me up. So it's an amazing show. The mixture of visual and lights and her music and the gorgeous Amy Tinkham, she's such an amazing director, and the artists that she's brought together, it is a beautiful, perfect storm of alchemy art.
You'll see even in the show, I talk about my love of Broadway when I was a kid and how much the musicals meant to me and how, I went the rock and roll route, but I've always, loved that musical expression that musicals were. So stepping on this, I have a great reverence. I'm honored to hold this space and bring this to this city and this crowd.
The wisdom she has to impart, there's so much. She's so willing to be vulnerable. It's incredibly courageous. Although it's a written idea, she's Melissa, so she's going to do it from her heart every time. So it's not a typical Broadway night because although scripted, it's totally unscripted. She's reliving her life.
I don't care what they think.
I normally write my songs about my life, so I've been comfortable with here's a 4-minute version of something in my life. Well, this is, last count, it was about 2 hours and 45 minutes of my whole life, like really, really talking about it, like deeply, not just a little song. So it is very, very intense and very raw. And you kind of got to be willing to do that. I've always lived my life, even when I was a teenager, thinking, someday they'll make a movie of me or something. So I was like, I have to live my life, and I used to think, I so don't have a very interesting life. But then once I lived it, I have a very interesting life. So it's kind of a cool thing, but you got to be willing to use your life as your art.